Is ADHD stopping you from donating your clutter? You have everything prepared in boxes and bags ready to donate, but you keep forgetting to take it to the place, and that's kind of frustrating. I'm going to tell you about 12 different tips that will help you make sure that you get everything to that place and donate it. The first thing, and one of the most important things for you to do, is to make sure that you can see your donation box. You need to keep it visual. You need to keep it in a place to where if you look over and see it, you're like, there's my donation box again. And every time you look over in that section, you're going to see it and you're going to be reminded that that is a box with your donation, your clutter, and that you need to go and take it to the donation place. Now, the other thing is you want to make sure that you have it by a door or by a place that you walk by every day. So every day you walk by there, you have it in sight, you do see it, you are again reminded again, hey, I need to get rid of this stuff. I need to take it out of the house and take it to the place to make sure that it's donated. And the reason that this is important for ADHD is the fact that out of sight, out of mind is a very real thing with ADHD. That means that you can see something a second or a minute before, and then if it's gone hidden somewhere or behind something, or you just can't physically see it, then you might forget that it's there. You might think, I don't know where that thing is, and start searching around for it and wasting your time searching for it because of the fact that you just can't see it. And so imagine that you have these donations that you have, and they're in the back of your closet or in the trunk of your car or just in a room behind other things. And are you going to remember those things if you get distracted, or if you're just busy and you don't even see those things a lot? You just kind of remember them as you come across them. And then you realize, hey, I need to go ahead and take this stuff to wherever I need to go to donate it. But if you don't see it, then that may never come to cross your mind until you just happen to stumble upon it somehow. And so this is why this is so important, to make sure that whatever you do, make sure to have it to where it's easily found, easily seen, so that not only can you find it easily, but that every time you see it, you're reminded that you need to go ahead and take it there and get it out of your house. And speaking of being able to see things, you want to use clear containers as you're doing these donations, because of the fact that you want to be able to see what's inside each container. It's really hard to go through and find something if it's in a container you cannot see inside of. You may be like, hey, I want to take these donations. I really want to find them. Where did I put them? And now you're looking all around through these different containers that are different colors and that you can't see inside easily. And so now you have to open up each container, go through it, see if what you want's in there. And if it's not, you have to go through to another container. So a clear container is going to make it so much easier, because you can just look and see and say, okay, I know what's inside there. Those are my jeans, or those are the shirts I want to donate, or the board games, or whatever I want to donate. I know that that's in there. I found it. I know that I need to take that to the place. And this is going to make things so much easier and save you a ton of frustration, because now you can find things quickly. Because when you're ready to go donate things, you want to be able to, as you're thinking about it, find it and then take it as soon as possible. If you have to go and look around for it because you can't find it, then you might get distracted by something else and then just never think about going back and finding it again. And something else you want to make sure that you do is you only have one type of thing, one category of things in each container. The reason is it's going to be much easier to look inside that container, look and say, okay, these are shirts, these are jeans, these are board games, video games, whatever that category is. And you know that everything in there is the same type of thing. As opposed to if you mix things up, you're not sure what's in there. If you have shirts and shoes and video games and board games in there and put them all in there together, then how do you know what's actually in there? How do you know if it's something that you actually want to keep and you put in there by accident and now you just can't see it because of the fact that it's buried under something else? And then you go ahead, donate, and then you're like, oh, you're upset because of the fact that that wasn't something you needed to take, that you actually wanted to keep, something you want to make sure that you held on to. And so with that, you don't want to have things just thrown together in a box or a container because of that fact. And that's one of the biggest issues with putting all these different things together. And the other thing is, what if you are sure that you want to donate something or want to get rid of something and you just can't see if it's in there, and it's just going to frustrate to go through and kind of look for all this stuff, but you could have gone ahead and gotten rid of that thing today instead of having to go back, look for it, make sure that you did donate it, try to check it, check around all your house and everything, your apartment and everything, to make sure that you found it, as opposed to look into a box or container and then automatically seeing, okay, all this stuff is in there. I want to make sure that I went ahead and donated this or whatever. And then you go ahead and confirm that, and then you're good to go. And you know that what is in there is exactly what you want to donate and what you actually want to keep. And something else really important and really good for you to do is to actually choose different colors for different things so that you can have containers in those colors and automatically then see what's inside just by looking at the container. For example, you have a red container that is shirts, you have a blue container that is shoes, you have a green container that is video games. So you have all these different containers and you can look over and immediately see what the color is for those containers and then know exactly what's in them. And the other thing that's cool about this is they do make color tints for different containers. You can have a red container that's just tinted red, but you can still see through it because it'll be clear, or a green container that's tinted green, but still clear, so you can automatically still see through it. So that's even a better advantage because now you have a clear container, and two, you have a color. So now you can look over, see what's inside, and also that color is going to automatically denote, okay, hey, there should be this inside that green container and this inside that red container. You look over and say, okay, confirmed. That's all that's in that container. Or, man, I'm supposed to put it in this kind of container. Why is it in that kind of container? And then you can fix it really quickly instead of trying to go through all the different types of containers you have that you can't see through, that you don't have any color organization with. And the reason this is really important for ADHD because of the fact that you deal with working memory. And that's your short-term memory where you are trying to manipulate information. You're trying to take information in and then figure everything out. Now, if you're trying to remember what's in a container and you have to look over and say, okay, I think I know what's in that container. I put it in the green container over here, but I put some other stuff in there too. I don't know. Is it still in that container? In that container, you can't see through, right? So you're just trying to figure it out. On the other hand, you can look over, see through the container, and then you automatically know, hey, green container means this, red container means that, as you get used to the colors, right? Instead of having to try to take that information in and trying to figure it out on the fly, if you ever have tried to understand what working memory is, try to take in like 5 or 6 or 7 numbers and names, phone numbers and names together, and try to remember all of them at once as people are giving them to you, because you at some point reach capacity about the amount of information that you can take in, and at that point you start just forgetting some of the earlier information. And when you're dealing with working memory and with ADHD, a lot of times you're dealing with a deficit in working memory, so you're gonna have to work twice as hard to actually make sure you retain everything. And so the point of this is that you don't want to have to rely on your working memory to remember where things are. You want to be able to have things and signs that you can see that automatically indicate something without you having to go through and try to figure it out. If you see colors or you have a clear box that you can see through, then this makes that so much easier because now it's just an automatic thing once you get used to the colors and everything. Another thing that can work really well for you is to have labels or sticky notes to put on the boxes or containers so that you know exactly what's inside just by looking at the label or the sticky note. And with the sticky note, you can write whatever you want to on there and stick it on there. And sometimes sticky notes, depending on what kind of surface you put on, it may not stay on completely, but a lot of times it will. And especially like on a box or container, sticky notes are great for that. But a label will probably work even better for you because the adhesive a lot of times is stronger and it's over the whole strip, the whole back of the label, instead of just the little part such as a sticky note is. But either way, whatever way you want to do it, whatever way you want to label something, even if you have to use a mark, permanent mark or whatever, you don't mind the container getting messed up, you can do that as well. But the point is you want to make sure that you have some way to tell what is inside this container very quickly, very easily, just by looking over there. And the other thing about sticky notes is too that you can actually get sticky notes in different colors. So if you want to do color organization that way, then you just put different sticky notes on the different containers. Blue means this, red means this, pink means this, yellow means this, green means this, whatever it is, right? And you just put them on the containers that way. And so now you have these little different notes on there, and you may not even have to write on them at that point because you know the different colors. And so you know what the colors mean. And so just having that sticky note on there can be a great way to just look at it and understand, okay, that's what's in that thing. And the other thing is you can write on it as well, just as a backup in case you don't remember what color goes to what. You walk over and just read what's on the sticky note and then see it. Now, the other thing is you may not even have to use a sticky note or label. You can use just stickers, which kind of serves the same process as a sticky note, but it's going to stick on the box or container a lot easier for you. And as long as you know, you can get different color stickers and have colors for each thing again as well, and just use the stickers on boxes or containers. So these are all different kinds of ways to put labels on something so that you make it easier for you. And again, it's going to help so where you don't have to use your working memory as much. And something else to be aware of as you're filling your containers and everything, you're getting everything ready, is to make sure you can actually pick up the container when you're done. You don't want to fill it up with so much stuff that's too heavy for you to pick up, because of the fact what happens is you're going to try to pick it up and you're going to be like, this is too heavy. I have to wait till someone else comes around to make sure that I can pick it up. I'm going to need a second person to actually make sure that I can get it down to my car and then get it over the place. So I just can't do it today. And so that's just one more thing that is going to stop you from taking these donations to actually get donated. And so make sure that you're only filling it to a certain amount of weight that you know that you can actually pick up, because of the fact you want to be able to go ahead and load it into your car, and not get super tired, start straining for it. Because if you ever had to like pick up something that's super heavy and you're just like, you see and you're like, oh, okay, well, I got to go pick it up, but that's really heavy. So you kind of just make all kinds of excuses of why you don't want to go and pick it up, right? Because of the fact it's so heavy. And then you might get frustrated because of the fact that you know it's too heavy before you even try to pick it up. And just like, well, I'm not doing that today, and just go and do something else because of the fact that it's just too heavy. So make sure as you're packing this stuff up, making sure you're getting it ready, that you kind of split it up into different containers and different boxes. And so that is going to be a good thing to help to make sure that there's not any additional obstacles in the way. And this can be a very common occurrence if you're not kind of watching to make sure that you're not putting too much stuff, or at least too much heavy stuff, in one container and not kind of splitting it up so that it's more easy to carry and handle. Now, another thing that you want to do is to make sure you pick a day to when you're going to take your donations over there. Just pick one, whatever day you're like, hey, I want to take it on Saturday, when at this time or whatever, pick a time. And so the reason you do this is to kind of give yourself a mini deadline. Now, the way to do this is to actually have a physical calendar somewhere, maybe hung up. I like a dry erase calendar. You hang that up and then you can always just put stuff on there. And if you make a mistake, you can go ahead and erase it, right? And so that's why I like a dry erase calendar. And so what you want to do is you want to hang it up somewhere where you pass by it every single day. And that way, if you like wonder, okay, hey, when was I going to take that again? You can just kind of pass by it, look at the date and find the date on there and look at it and say, oh yeah, I was going to take it on Saturday. And so that way you always are kind of seeing, hey, I need to get my donations done because of the fact that this day I've decided I'm going to take these donations over there. A lot of times all it takes is a reminder. And when you see it all the time, then it kind of gets into your mind, okay, hey, this is a day that I need to do that thing. And another thing that's really important besides a physical calendar is you can actually use digital reminders as well, whether it's a digital calendar or just, an event reminder, or maybe have some kind of service that reminds you, or maybe have Outlook on your computer where it sends you a message. Whatever you need to do to have it to where it sends you a reminder message, then it's going to help you remember, hey, I need to do this on this day or this on that day. A lot of times when I have to get something done, I just schedule a lot of different reminders. 1 week out, 2 days out, 1 day out, 4 hours out, 2 hours out, 1 hour out, 30 minutes out. And yes, that is a lot of different reminders. And the fact is, if you have ADHD, you're probably going to need a little help with time awareness. And so that's what the physical calendar does, but that's also what the reminders on the digital calendar do as well, or digital reminders as well. It helps you with the time awareness so that you kind of keep on track and stay on track, especially for the very important things you need to make sure that you get to. And another thing that's really important to do is that when you leave home to go take your donations, to be donated, you want to make sure that it probably or needs to be the first thing that you do, the first place that you go. You're ready, you got your donations, you're taking them down to the car, and you plan to go make the donation. So when you leave out, you need to go there first, even if you have other things to do, if you can make that trip convenient in a way. Now, if you have to take donations all the way across town, then this might not work for you. But if everything's kind of in the same area and you just like choose, hey, I could go here or here, here first, or I could take the donations over here first, and the distance is not really that much difference, then you need to make sure you go to the place to get the stuff donated first. Because of the fact, if you go after everything else you got to go to, say you have 3, 4 places to go to, you got to go to the store, pick up whatever from this other place to the other store, go by a friend's house, go pick up food for dinner. And so you're going to get through all those things, those 4 or 5 things. Then the last thing that you have planned to do is take these donations over to that place. Now the donations might be in the trunk because you don't have space in the car. And so you get through all that stuff that you have to do, all the 4 other things you have to do, and you just forget about the donations you need to take at the time. And instead of going there, you just go home. And by that time you go home, you get home, you're like, oh, I forgot to take the donations over there. But by the time you've gotten home, you're not going to want to go back downstairs, get in your car, and then take the donations over there. You'll just be like, hey, I'm going to do another day, not going to do it today. And so to prevent that, you need to go and take that stuff first to make sure that you get that stuff out of your house, that clutter out of your car, because you don't want to stay in your car as for months or weeks too, right? That way you're avoiding having to try to remember to do it on the back end when you have gone through and gone to a lot of different other places, and then trying to bring back and remember, okay, yeah, I still got to do one more stop and bring this stuff to here. It's something you should do because of the fact that you don't want to get distracted and you don't want to forget because you're distracted to finish and take these things to get donated. And also remember this, you do not have to donate everything at one time. You can donate multiple things, at different times. You may donate shirts or jeans or video games on one day, and then come back and maybe you have furniture that you need to take over there on another day, but you don't have to take it all at once because of the fact you don't want to stress yourself out thinking about, okay, I gotta make sure I got this and this and this, and then I try to figure it out how to fit in my car so I can take it all over there at one time. And then you might get frustrated trying to figure out how you're gonna get it into your car and get it there and take it all out and that whole process, right? And so just be okay with, hey, I can take some of this stuff now and I can take some of this stuff later. I can take just a couple things over there or a few things over there. And then on another day, I can go ahead and take the rest of this stuff. And then eventually you'll just run out of items, or at least, have your items to the level to where, hey, I don't have to, I'm done. I don't have to take anything else over there. I'm good. All my donations are done and everything like that. Be okay with it taking a few days or a few weeks to make sure you get everything out of your house, out of your apartment, and completely donated. And another thing that's really important is to know the why that you are donating, like why you're doing this, why you're donating these things, why you're decluttering, why you need to get these things out of your house or apartment. You need to know the why. You have to get everything over there because it's for the specific cause, and these people or this organization needs these things, and they need it on a certain day, or they need it by this time so they can get everything done. Maybe it's for a Christmas celebration or whatever. At that point, Toys for Tots or whatever you want to have it, you have all this stuff and you're donating all this stuff for that, right? So is that what you're donating for? Or are you just donating because you just need to get stuff out of the house or apartment? You're just like, hey, this stuff is just there. I need to get rid of it. I need to make sure that it's getting out somewhere else, not here at this point, right? So is that something you want to do, or is it for some other reason that you're doing it? Because that's going to motivate you to keep going when you're decluttering as well, to make sure you're getting everything out that you need to get out of your house or apartment. And it's also going to keep you motivated to be like, okay, I've got to get this done by this certain time so I can take it over to this place at this certain time, to keep you kind of going, to motivate you to actually make sure you take that stuff from your house or apartment to wherever you need to take it to be donated. And something else really important to know is that you do not have to donate everything. You can give stuff away to your family or friends or just someone that you know that needs the thing that you're thinking about donating, because of the fact it may help them. You may give them that treadmill that you were thinking about donating, that if you can use it and you want to go ahead and get your workout in on this treadmill, then that's fine. I'll give it to you. So just be okay with, okay, hey, I'm going to donate this stuff there, but I do not have to donate everything. I can give stuff away. If you want to, you can sell some stuff. You want to do that as well, but that's a whole different kind of process as well. And now this is not the only video that I have on this. I also have a video about the mistakes that you could make with ADHD when you have decluttered. And that means that once you have done this whole process of donating everything and gotten all the clutter out, you want to make sure that you do not do these things so that you can keep your house clutter free going forward. And then when you have to donate again, this will also help you as well. And you can watch that video right here